So, can you explain what you think about the electric stablecoin? I actually I like the idea, but by the way, having said that, I've not read
Deeply into it.
deeply into it to actually say, okay, this is how it's gonna work. But from just skimming through what's
Yeah.
out there online, I like the idea, but I don't think it's as possible. It's gonna be as decentralized. I think you still have to be dependent on central parties for it to work.
Okay. Yeah, very, very possible. I don't know. I kind of like. I'm like you, kind of like listen to it, but it kind of like really, really pricked my interest because I was looking at, okay, wow, this is going to be the first time cryptocurrency is actually going to be pegged to utility. We are very accustomed to cryptocurrencies
So real
being
utility,
real utility. Do you know what I
not
mean?
the ones that all these scam coins tell
Exactly.
you.
But
This is
the
utility.
one thing I'm wondering whether it is going to be on the Ethereum network or whatnot. They haven't really said so far, but
I think
most
I think
likely.
ideally they should, because they said you mint the coin, you mint 1 kilo, you mint the coin by spending kilowatts of electricity. So
Yes.
they have to it has to be its own coin.
So then it has to be staked,
Yeah,
kind of in a way.
it has to be its own coin altogether,
Yes.
like its own cryptocurrency
Yeah.
for it to work. But I think I need to find the research paper
Yeah,
that they
it
probably
would be very
release and then
interesting to
read
read because
everything.
I find it very interesting because obviously at the moment I was listening to a video on Nicholas Tesla, who idea was to be able to generate electricity but wirelessly. So
I
it's
think we've
like,
talked about this then before.
oh, we spoke about it before.
Yeah, no, not in this podcast. Like,
Okay.
one of our private discussion, we are talking about why can't people just send electricity electronically?
Exactly, and that's the reason why this really pricked my interest because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh damn, okay, this is really, really cool because obviously we understand that electricity can only travel through grid. That's what we are made to
With
understand.
wires and everything
With
coming into your
wires.
house.
Exactly, but then Nikola Tesla, obviously before he passed on, he was trying to set up a tower, right? 2 towers or different towers in different countries, and then the idea would be that it would kind of
Beam
beam
electricity
exactly
from
like
tower to
have
tower.
like a network,
Yeah.
and then through that cars, planes, ships, houses, anything that has anything that demands for electricity will be able to kind of like tap, like any device, and I thought that was phenomenal. But at the time, the problem is obviously the era he was living in, he didn't have the information that we have now. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Not to say that if he didn't die, he wouldn't have been able to achieve it, because only God knows, But there's a lot of things that he didn't know. We believe he didn't know that information it has become basic information through through us involving in technology. And so this is amazing because I'm reading this and I'm like, wow, okay, these guys want to peg it to a real utility, like you said. And that would be able to kind of like help others as well, like in rural area, because the whole idea is so that we can transmit the same way we transmit messages wirelessly, like WhatsApp. I can only imagine Nicholas Tesla's face thinking about, wow, these guys can actually send information to each other wirelessly. It would be the same way electricity will be able to be transmitted. But when I kind of like listen to them, the technology is not yet available, even though there is something called the Tesla coil. Have you ever heard of the Tesla coil?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Tesla coil basically allows you, it's so amazing because when you put it on, any electric device that you have, maybe a light bulb, for example, right? As you bring it closer to the coil, right, it lights up in your hands.
So I'm gonna go a little bit conspiratorial here.
Okay.
So Nikola Tesla, with this whole electric beam stuff. So
Yeah.
there are people, a group of people that will be called conspiracy theorists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, before you slag on them, yeah, before we deride conspiracy theorists,
yes,
most of what they've ever said are
there's an
actually
element
true.
of truth in it.
No. From 2020,
Yeah.
I've actually decided that if
That
anybody
every conspiracy theorist is speaking his truth.
yeah,
Yes.
I actually don't care, like, because I was one of the people that believe, oh, the vaccine is good, this thing is,
Yeah.
all of these people that are chatting shit, they're
Yes.
just spreading rumors and lies and conspiracy theories
Yeah.
that does not make any sense,
Mm-hmm.
only for us to find out that we're actually saying the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't know about the 5G thing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go into that.
Okay.
I mean,
But it's conspiracy
I'm
now. So
smart
if
enough
yeah.
to know that I don't think so. But then again, with the way the world
How
is going,
how do we
how the
know?
fuck do I know what's going
Yeah.
on? You understand?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not.
What do we know?
Maybe I'm not even smart enough to understand how it works.
Yeah.
That's why I think I'm smart enough.
Yeah.
You understand? So
Yeah. To
maybe
know whether it's true or
I'm
not.
actually too dumb
Yeah.
that I really do not understand how it works and why it could be true. You understand? So, but then conspiracy theorists actually believe that Nikola Tesla,
Yeah.
that he actually had more innovations and inventions that were confiscated by the CIA
Yeah.
and by vested interests that would actually want the world to be run the way the world is being run,
Absolutely.
so that they can profit
Yeah.
from the status quo. You understand?
Absolutely.
So a typical example, they always cite example of the man that invented the car that runs on water,
Yeah.
and how he just went
Just
missing,
yes.
like
Mysteriously.
mysteriously.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell what happened to him.
Yeah.
There are pictures of him. Obviously, having said that, this is based off of conspiracy theories. That people have been spreading.
Yeah.
But then if you look at some things, the way things are, the
Yeah.
way people can just sit down and manipulate the monetary system because of vested interests, the US were pulled into I think the First World War
Yeah.
by Winston Churchill, who is
Yes.
actually seen as a hero in the UK
Yet
without no
offered 1,000 people as a sacrificial lamb.
killed over 1,000 Brits, but nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
The way that is actually a fact. The way he was able to leave, and then the peace sign and everything,
Yeah.
and throughout the Second World War, he's seen as the hero, but then he's not actually a hero.
He's a murderer.
He's a murderer, that killed his own people
Yeah.
because he wanted to get the US into the First World War. So when you look at all of these things, it makes you wonder. Maybe there's an element of truth, or maybe it's actually real, because I can't understand how, like, if you enter trains here, there is you have Wi-Fi in trains. Obviously, there is something that gives the Wi-Fi to the train that has a connection, obviously being controlled by the what is it called, the British by BT in the UK. You understand? Now, obviously, it could be EE that they have the name, but everything is owned by BT.
Yes.
So there's a reason why everything is owned by that BT.
Yeah.
And then they license it out, to all of these other sub companies, and these sub companies now open up what they make us believe is a competitive market, which is not really a competitive market if you think about it. Because if it should be a competitive market, then we should have multiple BTs.
Yeah, it's a monopoly.
It's a monopoly.
Yeah,
We should have multiple BTs.
Yeah.
But then they will tell you, oh, it wouldn't work like that. Okay, so but then the fact that when you enter the train that you can get Wi-Fi without having to plug in your phone on anything. Obviously, you have to give out some of your private details, or if you are wise enough,
VPN.
you use VPN, or if you are wise enough, you obviously would know how to generate random emails just to give to them, and use a random name so that they will give you the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But the fact that we are there, but we can't do the same thing with electricity. You understand? Obviously, we have wireless chargers now, but those wireless chargers are always plugged in somewhere.
Yes.
It would have been nice if once I come in, my devices are charging.
Yeah.
Without it actually interfering with my health.
I think it's crazy.
We should be there now.
I think it's crazy because obviously one of the main things that they said why we haven't got to that level yet is because of physics. We are limited with the knowledge that we have now. Obviously we're probably going to get one Einstein that would come out and then be like, you know what, actually this is actually a way to do it, because obviously I feel like for us to evolve as a nation and in tech, all we need is information. Everything is based on information. Do you know how to do it? Can you find a way around it? So I was actually listening because it got me really, I'm not an engineer, but it got me really thinking
You're
about
actually
Nikola
you're
Tesla.
an engineer. You're an IT
Well, IT
engineer.
engineer, but like electrical engineer,
Okay.
I don't have any, I don't have much knowledge on it. So it got me like really thinking about Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla, by far, yes, 100%. The guy was working on thermodynamics. A lot of tech that were too involved
For his time.
for his time, and definitely the CIA got involved.
Yeah,
Absolutely, 100%.
they said they
So
confiscated a lot of his things.
yeah, but
And
then,
even some of the things that we are actually we're actually like we believed were things invented by Thomas Edison. Apparently, those were inventions by Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
That is not to say that Thomas Edison was not smart
Yeah.
or anything.
but
a
he
lot
knew how
of
to market things.
yeah, he knew how to market
That was
things,
the difference
and he had the
between him
connection.
and Tesla.
Yeah.
Tesla actually died broke.
Yeah, he's a weird guy. Like
Yeah.
he's a weird, intelligent guy.
His
You understand?
girlfriend was a pigeon.
Yeah. So,
So, but then you see, that's the thing, because to be okay. So to me, right, someone that I would classify a genius needs to have an element of insanity.
again, it goes into that conversation that we've had.
Yeah.
Who is insane?
And who's insane and who's sane?
Yeah, this could be the manifestation of how human beings are supposed to be, but then we are so insane that we
Yeah.
thought that they are insane.
Yeah.
Like we think
but-
that he's insane, but we
Okay.
are the ones that are mad.
So
And the
if you
group
saw,
madness.
I want to
is-
ask you something.
because hold on, I want to go
on.
somewhere with this.
Go for
so
it.
imagine if you come into a country where
Yes.
everybody has schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Has what?
Schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia. Yeah.
Yeah, schizophrenia. So imagine if you move to that country. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a normality for everybody to manifest like
themselves
that.
and,
you understand?
yeah.
And then you go there, you don't do any of those things. You are mad.
Yeah.
Immediately, you are mad.
Yeah.
You are the mad one because you are the odd one out.
Okay.
So madness is not really anything. It is actually
A perspective.
a perspective
of a group of people
of a group of people
who deem themselves to be normal,
yes. What is normality?
and then anyone that is not so-called labeled normal is abnormal or is mad.
Exactly. But then we used to say
It's
that,
true. What you're saying,
especially
I think-
if you look at the Bible,
Yeah.
the stories and how people got those visions and everything, in the real life now, some of the things that they do or that they imagine telling someone. Let me give you an instance. Imagine someone wakes up today to you right now, tell you that God said that he should sacrifice his first child.
Schizophrenia.
I'm telling you, you call the police on him. That's the story of Abraham and Isaac.
Yes.
Right? You
Yeah.
call the police on him. Like
Yeah.
he might give up just like Isaac.
Yeah.
And Abraham did not carry out the sacrifice because
Yes.
God said, "You've shown me that you are faithful." Blah blah blah. Look at the lamb.
Yeah.
You understand? Just imagine a situation. You come up to my house, and I don't have a child yet. But imagine I've got a son. Yeah. My good-looking son that calls you Uncle Mackenzie, and then you come up and I'm saying I'm sharpening my knife, doing all of these things. I say, yeah, I'm gonna barbecue my child for God.
Yeah, absolutely.
You understand?
Yeah.
So maybe those were the especially if we're going to go down the route of all the biblical stories being real. You understand?
Yes.
This is an assumption that everything is real.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get into that today. But yeah, if we're going to go, that's actually a manifestation of maybe that's the manifestation of how human beings are supposed to be, because we are so close to nature and so close to a lot of things around us that we have all these visions. We see all of these things. We our reality is not like, maybe our reality has been
somewhat limited.
Yeah, blunted.
As we have evolved.
As we
Just the
think
same
we are
way-
evolving.
As we think we're evolving, but maybe we are
You
devolving.
understand? Maybe we are devolving because
Yeah.
if you think about it, who flipping built the pyramids?
Yeah.
Like we
And
can't
up to
still, we
today,
can't,
we
we
don't-
can't
we
still
can't tell.
understand it properly.
Yes.
To the extent that racial white men are
Yeah.
now saying, they were built by aliens, so
Yeah.
that because they can't believe Africans can build anything like that.
Exactly.
And then people that don't want to be racial but want to be semi-racial will be like, Egyptians are not Africans.
Yeah.
Just so that a black
person
the black
cannot be cannot
yeah,
be.
they can't build that
Yeah.
kind of technology.
Yeah.
But we still can't understand all of these things today.
Yeah, so maybe you're 100% right, because
So-
talking about Nikola Tesla was trying to find a way to kind of like generate electricity wirelessly to to different houses, devices, and etc. There was a building found
And electricity is the
way,
ultimate
way
source of
back
energy.
as a source of energy. Yeah,
Ultimate source of energy, because energy
Yeah.
in form of electricity, if you can, like, if you have abundance of energy,
yeah,
you actually evolve sporadically
Yeah.
as a civilization. Like,
yeah.
you
That's
grow
that's
faster.
that's a
If to,
major.
if
It's a
today,
major aspect of
yeah,
evolution. Absolutely.
if today remove all the politicking in Nigeria.
Yeah.
If today I go to Nigeria and then there's a way for us to spring up sub-nuclear reactors in Nigeria,
Yeah. Energy problem solved.
energy problem solved.
So
Immediately, the country becomes
I was going
a
somewhere with what I was
different
saying,
thing.
like in terms of devolving,
Yeah.
because there's been a building found a while back. This is way back, and this building actually had electricity running through the walls. This building, when you look at the walls, like for example the stones, right? They were so damn heavy that at the time it was built, it was impossible.
Because they don't have
They
cranes.
don't have cranes. They don't have the tech to be able to lift those kind of weights up. So it has always been a question. Okay, how is this building, built the way it's built, and the way it's so built, it's so accurate. Like it's so damn accurate, right? And the space between each block. It's so there's practically no space.
The
So
air can pass through.
air can pass through, but yet electricity can flow through the building. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Electricity will power things up, but there's no wires. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it is crazy. Like when you look at ancient technology and the technology we have now, it almost seems like the technology we have now
It's a
is
joke.
inferior.
It's a joke.
It's inferior to
There's
what we
there's
had
so many
before.
things that we are coming up with, but I feel like they're just inferior compared to, because if some of these things were built like 5,000 years ago,
Yeah.
I should be able to move to what's it called again? When you can move beyond space, like
Teleport.
I should be able to teleport to Japan.
Yeah.
At this point,
Yeah. At this.
you know 5,000. You know what 5,000 years ago?
Yeah.
No human lives up to 300 years.
Yeah.
Let's just look at that. Let me just say it, because I don't know. But in fact, actually, we don't live up to 300
Yeah.
years. We know we don't live up to 300 years.
Can I ask a question? Just a quick
So
one.
if we had all of these things, if they were building pyramids
Yeah.
2,000 years ago,
Yeah. I wanna ask a quick question, right? So there was a man. Is it even a question? But there was a man that in Africa that actually discovered cure for so-called AIDS, cancer, etc. And then he went also missing. Okay, we don't. Yeah,
Okay.
we don't know.
Big
But he
pharma.
went missing.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't share out
Yeah.
he wouldn't share out his information on how he did it. Apparently,
Yeah.
he's been to Japan and everything. They've actually witnessed him, curing these diseases.
Yeah.
And they wanted to find out how he did it, but he didn't want to share it because his deity, right?
Yeah.
He got that information from his deity that he was worshiping. So now, I want the question I wanted to ask. Maybe it could be that some of the tech that we use, right, it's actually a higher level of consciousness. But because we can't measure it, we deem it to be mystical rather than as tech. We don't deem it as tech, because the reason why I'm saying that is when you look at some of the pyramids in Egypt, right, and some of the pyramids in is it Peru, one of those Latin America,
yeah.
and you check the map,
The
you
Aztec,
see
they're all lined
they're
up.
all lined up.
And we don't have aeroplanes then for people to actually travel like that, to be like, okay, we're going to build this one here and build this one here,
Yeah.
and then we all agree.
Yeah.
That, and then and they also I found that they're all lined, to the astrological something.
To some of the stars.
Like, I'm like, what the flip is going on here?
So okay, and then apparently, is it the Mayans? They have their whole calendar. They have a calendar that it's so advanced that actually tells you some of the main events that is going to happen.
They said the
in
world,
the world.
would have ended. That's actually one of the stuff.
Yeah, we're still here.
Yeah.
So, but
Maybe the world has ended and we are now living in a simulation.
yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because if you're in a simulation and the game has ended, if you are in the simulation, it's only the person that is actually controlling you knows that you've ended.
yeah, absolutely.
You are the one that think you are still in control, but you're not in
Yeah,
control.
you're not
That's why we
control.
have riots and everything that's happening.
Yeah.
I'm going down the route of conspiracy theory.
So
That's why everything is out of control.
yeah, because And you might actually be 100% right because things are just going out of control.
Everything is
Yeah.
going
So
amok.
maybe what it is sometimes when you switch off the TV,
Yeah.
right? You know, it gives you that glitch, that initial glitch before everything goes off, right? What That's exactly what's happened, right? We've had that the TV has been switched off, but we are still everything is ending. But very, very slow. In our time, it could be like maybe 100 of years or 200 of years.
But in the time of the
But
person
in the
that
time of the
controls the
person is control,
simulation,
the TV's off.
yeah,
And I think that's
they're
what's
about to go to
happening.
sleep.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's the reason why everything is becoming chaotic.
Yeah, cataclysmic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
So, but then let's go back to that because I don't think a listener knows what we're talking about from the
Yeah.
beginning. We're talking about electric stablecoin,
Yeah.
something that came out that was introduced by these two
And then you
people.
ask me a question whether it's possible to have it completely decentralized.
Yeah, so I
according-
don't think so. I don't think it could be because, by the way, it's something that was that came up. It's a report that came out that they wrote wrote a paper, which I'm still going to find,
Yeah.
by Maxwell Murialdo and John Belof. So these are the two people. So just in case our listener is interested in finding, just write down
Yeah.
these names: Maxwell Murialdo and John Belof,
Yeah.
electricity stablecoin, and then you will see a lot of reports on that. It came out just last month, so it's relatively new. They're probably gonna develop more on that, and then we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go on.
Yeah, I think it's possible to. Well,
I don't think it
when I
can
was
be.
reading,
I don't think it can be
when I was reading,
decentralized.
it seems like they would find there's a way to kind of decentralize it because at the end of the day, again, they're going back to kind of like being able to share the electricity between peers, the same way you can transact Bitcoin between peers.
I mean, decentralization can be on a particular level. It's like saying, okay, British Gas that does this electricity thing here in the UK. It's like saying, okay, they give you they were able to kind of license you the power to distribute electricity. So now you have over energy, whatever else, yeah. Empower. I don't know if Empower still exists, but I'm just using EDF. You know, so now you have all of those ones. So to them, it's decentralized.
Yeah.
You understand? To them, at that point, because they can be like, can you send us, can we use some of the surplus that you guys have to supply Norwich today? Because something is going on.
But then
Ovo will be like,
at the end of the day, Ovo will be centralized in a way because obviously
between them, amongst them, is centralized, is decentralized.
They said-
But then underneath it is BT. That is B. How saying BT? It's not BT. British Gas.
Yeah.
That is the Bata. So it's not really. It's actually a central point of failure, which is British Gas.
It will be very interesting to find out how they say it will be decentralized. It will be very, very interesting to find out. Obviously, again, we haven't really read the papers, but I think maybe what we're going to do is we're going to have a part two, like what we did with, what's it called?
Celsius.
Some Bank Friedman.
Yeah, some back.
I've literally butchered the name completely.
Yeah, it's good. It's okay.
SBF.
SBF.
You know, obviously
Sam
we came
Backman
back and we
Fried.
told you guys that it was loans rather than a buyout. So I think that this will be the same thing. Our next topic, what we'll do is we'll probably read deeper into
Yeah,
the research
I'll read the paper. I'll read the paper
and then-
tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And then
And then
get
our
more
podcast,
information.
what we'll do
Hopefully,
is we'll actually start with that and say, okay, guys, this is what we found out. We found
hopefully
out
it's not
some
too
more
technical for me.
yeah, we find out more information about how they're planning to decentralize the whole electricity.
Yeah.
Like when I read it, obviously they said it was going to be decentralized. I'm not 100% sure how they're going to do that.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna pull it off because if I'm in Nigeria, and it's cheaper for me to generate 1 kilowatt of electricity because of the change in monetary system.
Yeah.
No, the difference in monetary value rather, not
Yes.
change, and because of Naira this thing. So I generated 1 kilowatt, which makes sense. In essence, that's actually the benefit of such a system.
Yeah.
Because I could go to Peru and because it costs less. You understand? And then someone in Peru can then send you some of that electricity.
Yeah.
If you are living in the US, where it probably might be more expensive for you to do. This is just me extrapolating here. You understand?
Yeah.
But then the problem is when I send it to you, British gas needs to be able to accept it before they can actually equate it to anything of value.
Yeah.
Because it's the grid, it's national grid,
Yeah, so
controlled by
that's what I'm
British
saying.
gas.
That they said that it
So
would not be owned by any company, neither will it be owned by National Grid or
I need to
So
find out.
that's why I'm trying to say
I
that
mean,
it'll be
like I'm
very
more intrigued now
yeah
to find out what they're
because
actually
they
proposing
said
because
it's
it does not
completely
make sense.
decentralized. They used some other things. I mean, I just shallowly read it, but
Yeah, I don't know. I wish it would be interesting to find out
yeah,
how they are going to pull
I
it
know
off. I
it's
don't
very hard to
think
believe.
it's going to be
So,
completely
but
decentralized.
apart from Bitcoin being completely centralized, it's very hard to believe to find any other coins, crypto coins, to be decentralized because I don't know. But that's what I was
Especially
saying.
when it has to do with utility, especially when it has to do with energy. There's going to be a lot of vested interest that would find a way to make it, even if no matter
So
how good
that's
it
why
is,
I'm trying to say that
to
okay,
make it
I get what
not
you're trying to say, but I was
decentralized.
trying to use like Nicholas Tesla's idea of um, um no, of course it is. Because I mean,
I
we
think
kind of
Nikola
like using it
Tesla's technology is
on a
already
lower
out. That's
level. I
actually, if
mean,
I'm going to believe
we
conspiracy
can
theories, I think it's already
charge
out.
we can charge our phones wirelessly. So that's exactly what we wanted to establish. What we want to see is that same
Yeah.
technology scaled up. Where it can actually charge so many different things, houses, buildings, planes, and all that kind of things without having the wires. So that's already one stage. The problem they're having now is scaling it up. So that's the reason why the fact that you can Nikola Tesla's idea is by having different networks or having different towers built in different places so that it will create that kind of a network, right? Where electricity is sending through as data, the same way we send through data through our telecommunication towers. So that's how I believe that this because they themselves said that okay, the tech is not yet available, that it might take about a couple of years to have the tech ready. So we want to find out what is it that they know that we don't know. And besides, these two are like PhD holders in their field. Although they don't have necessary experience in, I mean, looking into what they do, the universities that they are from, about bitcoins and cryptocurrencies, but they did mention a few vital stuff, which again
They
I
don't
wanna
seem
make
to
sure
have
that
know anything
I do them justice by quoting
about
exactly what they said
cryptocurrencies
and some
and
of the
stuff.
points that they make maybe in our next podcast. So I think we're gonna have a definitely part two in this because it's a very interesting thing. This is the first time I'm hearing about coin peg. Yeah, that's I just keep like yeah.
Yeah. You're just like, have you heard
Yeah.
about electric stable coin? I'm like,
Yeah,
you
so
mean
literally,
e
this is
stable coin?
I heard it
And you're
today.
like, nah, electric
Yeah,
stable
I
coin.
heard
I'm
it
like,
today.
okay, that sounds interesting.
I have guy, guy
Oh,
from
really?
Coin
From
Bureau.
where? From who?
I was just listening to him, and then he was like, because I listen to him because obviously I'm subscribed to him. I feel like he gives very
Oh,
good
okay.
updates. So I was like, okay, cool. And then I listened to him. I was like, what the fuck?
He
For
gives
real?
updates.
So I started looking into like I thought, okay, maybe this guy's shining shit, So I was like, first of all, how are we going to, peg that to utility? But then obviously, when you look at utility as well, demand is something that one is vastly available, but yet we always need it. So it's high demand. Exactly. You need it. Yeah.
High demand, highly segmented too. Because everybody
Exactly.
needs some sort of utility, and then electricity being
Exactly. Not everybody
energy.
has that
Energy is
excess
what
energy.
everybody needs,
Do you know what I mean?
but
So
then not everybody got
when I read
that
it, I was
excess this thing to energy. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, but then
which is why
I think you
Russia
mentioned
is
some other
important
things as
to
well that
Europe
kind of
because
like
of natural gas that we look to generate energy
made
during winter
me
times.
look at the West in a different perspective in terms of, let's say, for example, the pyramid. They say cannot be owned by a black person. Kind of in a way, they kind of like find ways to discredit us
Yeah,
in a way. It was the same way I
yeah,
discovered that, okay, maybe the reason why this tech, for example, Nikola
yeah.
Tesla's technology, were taken and confiscated by the CIA was because of private companies. And when you look at the structure of America, right? Yeah, 100%. It is of private companies.
No, I totally believe that. No, it's not. It's not. Was because of. It is because of. this is private vested
be
interest
sidelined.
that understands
Yeah.
that, okay, if this thing becomes publicly available, we
Yeah.
are not going to make money anymore. You understand? Like imagine British gas becoming obsolete
Electricity.
because who needs British gas? Whereas my cousins
Yeah.
in Nigeria can send
Yeah.
me electricity,
Yeah.
and I can use that electricity
Yeah.
to generate something else here of value.
You
Convert
know
it into
what's so damn
pounds,
crazy?
and then
Not to
buy them
interrupt you, not
shit.
to sidetrack what we are talking
Like
about.
who
But,
needs that? I'm just
recently I
using.
was watching this video, right? And then in this video, it was on YouTube, by the way. They're talking about how we would evolved, right? And then you mentioned a very crucial thing: energy. Energy is how we evolved. When we have excess of energy, we'll be able to do.
Yeah. If today we
Exactly.
solve the problem of energy, the next thing will be obviously interplanetary becomes easier, and then before you know it, transportation becomes easier, quicker. I mean, Elon Musk,
Yes.
SpaceX, they're already talking about going from the US to Australia in like 30 minutes. Obviously they will go off the orbit and then do that. But then by the time you can do that, and energy, we have excess energy, and it's low cost, people will actually evolve and come up with innovative ways of, oh, okay, can you put someone
Yeah.
in, what sort of energy do you need
Zero
to
energy.
put someone in a pod?
Yeah.
You understand, and quickly transfer them to Alpha Centauri,
Yeah, so-
and then put them back together
Yeah,
in
so
seconds
what I was watching,
without
what I was
actually
watching
having
is
any
exactly
impact
that, you
on
know,
their
for us to be able to,
on
let's
the
say,
matter.
for example, go
Yeah.
leave
So-
our universe and then go into a different universe. For example, we need to be at our energy level needs to be evolved. Do you know what I mean? We need to find out new ways of creating renewable energy. And it was interesting because for every step of mankind, right, having energy to be evolved was a crucial thing. Do you know what I mean? So this goes ahead to say that, okay, energy is energy for what's that? Just
Yeah, so after our short break, we are back. Yeah, when you have kids, they will distract.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You don't even want to know what I had to go and do with this. With my daughter. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know what we were talking about. But obviously, I don't know where we were.
Where we left.
Yeah, where we left in our conversation. But
Yeah.
I think it
one
just
of the main things we're talking about is
how
whether it was
vested
possible.
interest.
Oh, invested interest. That's
Yeah,
exactly what we're
vested
talking
interest would actually find ways to surmount this kind of technology,
Yeah.
or kind of make it not to become mainstream.
Yeah.
In a way, because obviously it does not benefit them if everybody in their house.
Exactly. And
their house is
it's so
generating
crazy
interest.
because there's a company called US Food. Is it US Food? Yeah, but okay. So this company, in a nutshell, maybe you can look into it. So this company, in a nutshell, is one of the main companies in America, which kind of destabilized the Guatemala's economy. By it's so crazy. Like they had so much power that they were using to kind of like remove certain political figures that were against their movement. Let's say, for example, if he came in and these 2%, it's so crazy because the country was so impoverished, right? Because these companies took over and they took over by propaganda. Do you know what I mean? And so when they took over the country, they had the most land. These 2% owned 90% of the land. So the other 10% of the rest of the public, right, were heavily impoverished. So they wanted someone that would come. But obviously, the CIA would always bring in some people that are like tyrants, right? Because obviously, it'll benefit them. This is exactly the same thing that's happening in Africa right now. So it's just what made me realize that, okay, this is so messed up is the fact that these are not done by just by the government. These are done by private companies.
Yeah,
I
think fundamentally, I've always known this, and yeah, it's good that we always find ways to. It's like we always circle back to it again.
Yeah.
Because it's like the
That
bane.
the problem of the world is actually the West.
It's like the bane of our modern civilization, actually.
Yeah.
Some of these things. But what's shocking, this is where I cry, is that most educated people,
Yeah.
or even the non-educated ones, here don't actually know. That's
It's
why it pains
I
me
think,
the most.
I think
Like
it's partly true
when
and partly not, because I feel like
but most of them don't know.
not most. I think
Most of them don't
when we
know.
say most,
Because if you listen to them, what they normally say is, "Oh, okay, if people have this abundance of
what kind
stuff,
of
what
what kind of age group are you talking about?
yeah?"
What kind of age group are you talking about that you feel like they
I'm
don't know?
talking about like people of our age.
Yeah.
You understand? People
Yeah.
of our age, people a little bit younger than us, people a little bit older than us. So I'm talking about people like 40s older than us. You
Yeah.
understand?
And
Our age, yeah,
between 25 to 40.
yeah. So 25 to 40.
Yeah.
You know, these are the people I interact with.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know these things.
Yeah.
They don't know that something like Nigeria was a contraption created for the benefit of a particular company, and that company still exists today, which is Unilever.
Unilever.
You understand? They don't know that.
Yeah.
They don't know that, okay, if that company
And
exists
they are
today,
so heavily in the Nigerian
yeah,
fabric.
so even in West Africa, not just Nigeria.
yeah.
So if you come out and say, oh, we need this one to succeed because it's not working for us, they'll be like, nah, we're not going to allow that to happen. And then they can always, you know, they can always castigate a particular set of people and paint a certain story or paint a picture, rather, that people here actually believe verbatim.
Yeah.
You understand? And say,
Yeah.
oh,
So-
this one is evil. This
Yeah.
one is evil, you know, because they're agitating to
propaganda.
you know, so, exactly.
Propagandas.
So that's why it pains me the most. That's why that like
because the way
I always believe that, okay, things have happened. You know, what happened in the past happened in the past. You understand?
Yeah.
But it's just that people don't actually look at these things when they equate what's happening today.
Yeah.
When you judge someone, you know, when you're telling someone, I think I said it in two episodes ago, when you say someone should go back to their country, okay, like Guatemalans that are running away from their country that is now besieged, you know, by gang, you know, all these gangs, and every time people are getting killed and murdered, and the state is failed in essence, you know. For young Americans, it would be nice if they actually know that country was left the way, or has been left the way it is today because of what their country, what a company,
what the West did.
yeah, what a company sponsored by their government did in the country.
Yep.
Because of profit maximization.
Yeah. Literally, which is okay. So it's called United Fruit Company.
Yeah, it's Unilever. Yeah. Oh, okay, no. You're talking about the one, the Guatemalan one.
The one in Guatemala.
Yeah.
And it's so damn crazy because it's like I was having a conversation with was it Enoch. So we're just having a normal conversation, and you know, we're talking about, okay, let's look at everything that's going on wrong in the world. You know, and I'm not. This is not to point fingers at people or anything like that. But then I look at, okay, if we look at logically what's going on in the world and how some of these developing countries are so destabilized, their economy is completely destabilized in terms of, even when you look at the unity amongst tribes, for example, you know, we don't have that, and you know, we have so many we have petty civil wars here and there. And you look at the root of all of it, it's the Brit, the Americans. So it's like, to me, it's like the West, you know. And obviously, I always say that we also need to take some form of responsibility as well.
Obviously, yeah.
You know, we can't just point fingers. You know,
I'm always not looking at I think the present. We need to tackle the present. You understand? We can't keep, but it's quite disheartening when you look at somewhere like, you know, like Nigeria, with all the potentials that Nigeria have got, and then we are having infightings, you know, amongst us because of ethnic differences. You understand? And
even though you're one people,
even though we are one people, even though it is going to benefit a lot of us if we can actually maybe say, okay, we are uniting, or we are going our different ways without any sort of animosity. You understand? And it would benefit all the individual states. You know, when I say states, I mean nation states. If we do that, but then for us to be in
actually, it could in a way, and in a way it couldn't.
Yeah,
so
it's everything. The main thing is actually identifying that we are not the problem. You understand?
Yeah.
When you identify that you are not the problem, you understand? When you identify that, okay, what we have today was created by someone for a particular reason, because it benefits them for the system to be the way it is. When you understand that, then you find ways to solve that. That's why I don't blame people You understand? But I don't blame like I
But
wouldn't I
we
would I
still need
wouldn't
to
be
recognize what happened and what took
exactly.
place.
That's my point.
Yeah,
I
recognize what took
just want
place,
people to
and
recognize
then be accountable.
accountability,
Yeah,
admittance. You
yeah,
know, if it's possible, what is it called? Is it called repatriation?
yeah.
Or
Is it to pay back?
yeah, to pay
Kind of.
back. You know, some
Yeah,
of the, if it's possible. If it's
yeah,
not possible, that's fine. But let everybody know.
yeah. And then
You
maybe
understand?
not necessarily, even if you can pay it back, just remove your hands from our affairs. As simple as,
Exactly.
you know. But it's crazy because what we are seeing right now, that's what I'm saying, that we are in the age of information.
Yeah.
So all of these informations are readily available to anyone that really, really want to find out what took place. When you go to YouTube, there's so many channels, there's so many videos. When you go on the website, there's so many information there available as
Yeah,
well.
but
Because
it's hard. Like when you are living in a Western media-based propaganda,
yeah,
it's very hard for you to see the world in a different light.
yeah.
For you to ever decide that
But
let me understand what's going on.
but the reason why
Because
so I was
there's
going to a
there's
place.
someone somewhere that would listen to this just
Yes.
because of what we are saying now. They would be like, "What the fuck are these people talking about? They don't
Yeah,
know
so
what they're
then
talking
we
about."
go and
And
do
they
your
end
research. It's as
exactly. But
simple
that's
as
what I'm
that.
saying. But then someone that knows how to think, that thinks
So
for themselves,
let
will
me
be
ask
like,
you a question. Let
are
me
they
ask you a
right? Are
question.
they wrong?
Why have they? The question would then be, okay, why have I as an individual chosen to listen to this podcast? Because I want to be informed. So that's what I'm saying, that this is the generation that I understand what you're saying, that a lot of people don't know some of these basic stuff, like basic history, like Winston Churchill that we just spoke about. But at the same time too, information is so readily available that so many people actually know what the Americans have done because of the information being available to them. We have so many podcasts, we have so many different, the information is just there blatantly now. It's blatantly there now that, okay, you can actually find out for yourself, and a lot of people want to know. The youth that are coming up, I don't know about that generation, because obviously I don't really interact much with them, which I think I should. I think it would be good to kind of like understand what they think about the society they live in. But amongst the people that I speak to, they kind of like have an idea that, okay, there's so many issues going on in the world, and then most of them, when you speak, as I've spoken to Indian men, like Indian men my age. Yes, I'll give an example,
But
right?
exactly, an Indian man would actually understand.
Yeah,
Because an
so I
Indian
spoke to him
man,
because he experienced it
yeah,
firsthand.
an Indian man already knows about the whole history
Know
of
the
India
whole history.
and how
So
they are still being owned for trillion by this country.
absolutely. But then I've also seen, let's say, for example, this, I don't know the statistics, and I won't be able to prove to you how many young people between the age of 25 to 40 knows about
Some
um,
of these things.
some of the horrible history that mankind has gone through, you know. Um, but I can tell when I hear young people speak on small social media things, like, for example, during the whole BLM, Black Lives Matter, um, during that whole process, during that whole time, there were some young white, youth. Let me call them the youth, right? Approaching their mom, approaching their dad, who were blatantly racist, right? Who believed that, okay, you know what, blacks deserve to be locked down because most black people, the stereotype, the obvious stereotype, are criminals and etc. Right? These kids were confronting their parents with statistics. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That, okay, how is it that, okay, maybe the blacks in America they're less than
Like what?
5%,
Yeah, like
about
1% or something like that.
yeah, less than 5%, and like they are more 70% most likely to get arrested, and then stereotyped, and then racially profiled, and etc. Do you know what I mean? So and I'm talking about these kids. I'm talking about like 16, 17-year-old proving out statistics to their parents. So some of these things, I look at it and I'm like, okay, maybe it might not be a lot of people, it might not be majority of people, but some people, at least some people, have this kind of information. And then when you look at, there's a YouTube video that I watched called Whitewashed. So whitewashed are people actually, white people. It's a documentary about white people actually saying that, okay, yes, we are 100%. We know that we are white privileged because we are white. Because we're white, we are privileged in the banking sector, financial sector, whatever it is. They are more privileged than the blacks because they've actually seen the discrimination between a fellow black brother or sister. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying, that these informations are widely available and some people are actually tapping into it. I don't know, we won't be able to tell how many people will tap into it. I don't even know how we got here because all we're talking about is
what we got here
decentralized
is
energy. It's because
of vested interest
vested
and
interest
how
in,
they
in
actually
private companies.
act. Yeah,
And how private companies are actually
and
the
how
ones
how
pulling
they
the
will find a
strings.
way to not to make something like this not to work.
Exactly.
Because obviously they're not going to profit from it.
Yeah.
Or they believe that they won't profit from it.
Yes.
Let me put it that way, because I always feel like if you really look into anything, you can always find a way to profit from it.
So I feel like, one, I'm extremely interested in the project that is coming on. I wish him 100% the best, and I'm going to take part in it and support the movement as much as I possibly can. There was more that I wanted to talk about. Obviously, the college that is actually funding them also being part of it's a government college, that looks into nuclear weapons and all that kind of things. But I think we'll talk about it more on our next episode.
After we've read the report.
After we read the report.
Yeah, in our next episode we'll talk about this. So thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
Is there any other thing you should add?
There's so much more to talk about. We'll leave it for next episode.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about. I mean, this is crypto, so yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
Because this wasn't what we wanted to talk about today. We wanted to talk about SBF.
Absolutely no. Exactly. We wanted to talk about SBF.
And how he's funding or not funding or loaning or not loaning out.
We're trying to find out whether we can find hundreds of
millions of dollars.
Yes.
But SBF is not as interested as this. He's not as interesting as this. Come on.
This is mind blowing.
Yeah, this is mind blowing. This is the game changer.
This is innovation.
This is innovation.
This is innovation.
So, yeah.
So we are more than happy to look into more of these kind of topics when we find new information that we know that is blowing our mind. We would want to share it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening and have a wonderful week.
Take care. Peace. Bye.